So this week's teaching on Kundalini. So one of the great things that Kundalini does to us is it makes us, it invites us, cut our losses. It makes us let go of dead weight. It invites you to let go of anything that is not serving your highest nature. So let's talk about some of these. Kundalini will certainly invite you, is a polite way of saying it, or pressure you to quit a job that you hate. That you hate. In fact, if there's anything in your life that you hate, Kundalini is inviting you to look at that, to examine it. And if it doesn't serve you, to cut it loose. Sometimes we're just in a job that's mundane. And we have to have a little bit of discernment here. And often people take this teaching completely wrong. So people who have like a good home, they think, oh my God, I'm going to lose my good home and I have to lose my job. I have to be homeless on the street. That's not what Kundalini, that's not what God is wanting from you. God is wanting you to let go of attachments that do not serve you. It's a very clear distinction here. I'm going to use, again, the example of the job. If you have a good job and like you don't hate it, but it's just some kind of normal job and it serves you for the time being, it's providing an income and you're continuing to do your healing work, like there's no pressure to change that. But if you are in a mundane job and your heart is calling out to you, I want something more, I want something greater. And I believe that I could do something greater. And I have this gift in me. I know what this gift is. I want to share this gift with the world, but I'm scared. Really what Kundalini is wanting you to let go of is your fear. Your fear. And to walk in the direction of the truth. So often people think that God or Kundalini, any kind of teaching, if we're good Buddhists around attachment means we all have to be celibate monks, nuns living in the forest by ourselves, begging for food for, some type of some type of just menial existence. So that's not the truth. This is not the truth. Sometimes what we have to let go of is our idea that this is not a divine world. We have to let go of this idea that this is a world run by humans. And therefore, we are at the mercy of our egoic nature versus someone else's egoic nature. We're at the mercy of like Darwinian logic, which is survival of the fittest. And, I'm no good, I'm unworthy. And so there's no place for me. So I'm going to starve and live as a beggar. No, sometimes Kundalini wants you to let go of that. That's the thing that's holding you back. And what God is trying to give you is a life divine, full of abundance and happiness and joy, where you are greatly supported, where you are not a beggar, but where you are uplifted. And so please, I want everyone to hear this. Kundalini is going to invite you, put pressure on you to let go of toxic relationships, toxic, romantic relationships, family relationships, toxic psychology. Sometimes that's your own psychology. So again, like if you have this idea that you are no good and you're unlovable, that's what God wants you to let go of. This idea that you are unlovable, and God wants you to open to the fact that you are lovable. Not only are you lovable, that you are actually love itself. As you come into your heart and you open and you begin to discover how beautiful you actually are. So again, I don't want these teachings to be misconstrued. And so often people say, oh, I'm in a toxic relationship. That means I need to divorce my husband, wife, partner right away, immediately. And again, we have to have some discernment and we have to have some accountability and take responsibility and just look at our life and ask ourselves, is this relationship toxic? Yes. But then we need to look a little bit deeper. We don't need to throw everything out the window in that moment. We could ask, am I doing something? Am I, me personally, is this egoic nature doing something that is making this relationship toxic? You know, I can say that in the beginning, when I started work, I worked as a spiritual teacher and also as a counselor, a therapist. And now everyone who comes to me is, you know, like a student, or they're in the tradition, they're a spiritual person. But in the beginning, there were people who would come to me, and I used to work with couples. And if any couple came into my office, there's a good chance they were in some kind of toxic relationship with each other. By the time they showed up to couples counseling, there was something deeply toxic there. Now, if I got the wife in the room, just by herself, and the husband wasn't there, she'd tell me what a horrible, toxic, narcissistic person he was. And if I got the fella alone, he would tell me what a horrible, crazy woman she was. And most therapists, they make this mistake, is they listen to one side of the story and they agree with that side. And then it's very easy just to blame. Oh yeah, like you're talking to the wife. Oh yeah, it's your husband's fault. You should leave him. It's much easier. It's much easier to agree. It's much more difficult for the therapist to say, hey, what could you be doing? What could you be doing that's causing your partner to ignore you, to not want to come home, to hang out at the bar instead of being at home with you? What could you be doing? And then I could ask, the fellow, like, why are you avoiding your wife? Like, what is it that you are doing? And so Kundalini wants you to clean up your psychological nature and to take accountability, to look, what am I doing that's creating a toxicity in my own inner world, in my own inner temple? What am I doing? What are they doing? That's easy to see. That's easy to see. And sometimes it's true. Like, yeah, I'm 100%. I'm dating, I'm married to a narcissist, and we need to cut our losses and leave. But sometimes it's us and them. But as we begin to change, they begin to soften up and lighten up and forgive us. And then they begin to change. So again, please don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. So many of us, what happens with Kundalini is this light comes into us and it's so bright, it's so overwhelming. And it may create a healing crisis within our nervous system. And because I've been through a healing crisis or two, or three, or four, I often step back. The first time it happened, I stepped back and I said, like, what is God doing here? I didn't say, why is God doing this to me and poor me? I looked at this experience of the healing crisis. I asked, what is being asked of me? Where am I confused? Where am I living my life in a way that's out of alignment with truth. So a healing crisis often puts us in bed. It overwhelms us with fatigue. It breaks everything down in our life. So we're just left there. The same way we'd be left in an ashram, by the way, alone, with lots of time of silence for us to contemplate our life. And so when we're not fully listening, if we're not introspective about what's happening in our life, often Kundalini will turn up the heat and either give us something debilitating, or it will just purely make us energetically debilitated. And during this time, it's a wonderful time to have a pity party. It's an even better time for us to have an inquiry party. And please don't take any offense to that, those of you who heard pity party. I did that as well. Like I said, oh, poor me, like what the heck's going on here? This isn't fair. But when I began to look deeper, I said, like, what is this really about? What is this energy, this light trying to show me? What is this fatigue trying to teach me here? And sometimes the fatigue is just there, just to humble you enough to get you to lay in bed and to face yourself. And as we face ourselves, sometimes we discover things like, oh, I don't actually love myself. Oh, I actually don't feel safe in this world. I don't feel safe in my body. Oh, I'm no good at receiving support from others. I can remember when that was my big issue. I realized, gosh, I don't know how to receive from another human being. Now, ironically, I certainly knew how to receive from God, but I didn't know how to receive material support, affectionate support. I didn't know how to receive kindness. I didn't know how to receive love. I didn't know how to receive financial support. And so sometimes God will pummel us. This energy will pummel us and put us in bed until we begin to learn how to forgive, how to let go. Sometimes this energy, like sometimes what we have to let go of, I'm going to say something contradictory to what I just said. Sometimes what we have to let go of is this idea that everything has meaning. Like sometimes we have fatigue purely because, we got a virus and there's no like real karmic thing besides just the karma of the earth. And this is what's happening. And it's like, it's Lyme disease. It's not something deeply and utterly personal. It's just, this is part of life. It's impersonal. And we need to realize this. Sometimes we have fatigue because, like, my golly, we're going through a massive awakening. And this human body, like where we started on the path, was just not ready. It wasn't anywhere ready. And it wasn't our fault. It's not God's fault. It's not anyone's fault. It's just how it is. Just like puberty. Like puberty, it's not, God trying to teach you something in a very personal way. Puberty is just puberty. It's everyone goes through it, and it's difficult, and it's messy, and it's weird, and it's bizarre. But it doesn't have any great specific meaning, beyond like you're growing into being an adult. With Kundalini, we're growing into the realm of spiritual awakening. And so for some of us, we have symptoms, and we're assigning meaning to everything. And I just have to say this because this comes up with people. Oh my God, I'm seeing 11:11 again. And that means like Maybe that doesn't mean anything. Maybe 11:11 doesn't mean anything at all. Maybe it's just God smiling at you, and it's just that simple. Maybe your fatigue is just like puberty. It's a period of time that's incredibly difficult. But as the energy continues to burn through you and open in you, eventually the fatigue burns off, and there's no great lesson behind it. And so the thing about this path is it is constantly inviting us to let go of that which does not serve us. That which does not serve us. Like a lot of people unconsciously have this idea that they have to be independently wealthy and like a millionaire or a billionaire. Maybe it's a billionaire these days to be happy. Sometimes it's just like, that's the thing we have to let go of. Sometimes it's this idea that a knight in shining armor will come and save us. We have to let go of this. But for many of us, we have to let go of the opposite. Like we have, like an old, crusty, monastic idea. Like this body is just a bag of bones and it's unworthy of love and it doesn't deserve anything. Sometimes we have to let go of spiritual, renunciate, monastic ideas and open and realize, oh no, this body's a temple and it's worthy of love and support. And this world is a world of relationship. And we're meant to be in love and to be as love, to be in love, to experience support, to experience kindness. And it's different for each of us, dependent upon your karma. And what I mean by karma is your specific trajectory of growth. So if you're holding tightly onto this idea that a knight in shining armor is going to come save you, or that you need to keep your mother happy in order for you to be happy, it's that thing that needs to be released. So many of us on the path, we put ourselves last. And that's the thing we have to surrender. Where God is telling us, go to the front of the line. We're busy resisting, saying, no, 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 I am unworthy. Lord, I am not worthy to receive thee. Lord, I am not worthy. God's busy saying, no, you're my child. You are absolutely worthy. Please know this. Please know, as Christ knew, that you are worthy of the highest love, the highest support, the highest kindness, the highest compassion. And not only are you worthy of that, but you are that in your most fundamental and essential nature. If you ask your ego what you're worthy of, your ego will quickly point out its wound. If you look in your heart and see clearly into your heart, how beautiful, how innocent, how pure your heart is, There's no question of worthiness. Like you bow at your own feet. You bow before your own feet. So I hope this makes sense. Okay. Toxic relationships, like everyone's just ready, ready to get rid of their partner. Not many people are ready to look at what their part is. Because if we're in one toxic relationship, we say, oh, I got to get rid of this. That's what Craig said. That's what Craig said. I have to get rid of this toxic thing. And if you get rid of Mr. Wrong, but you don't change, you go out and find Mr. Wrong again. If you look inside, like, say, why am I in relationship with Mr. Wrong? What am I doing to create this dynamic to be the wrong dynamic? And you begin to do your healing work, and you grow and change and mature and heal. You may find that Mr. Wrong, he starts to wake up and he becomes Mr. Right. Or you may discover, oh no, he's not worthy of what I am. And then you cut him loose. So again, like, please, let's have some discernment here. And that's one of the great things that Kundalini will do, is it puts pressure on us to get rid of that which doesn't serve us. Puts pressure on us to have discernment, take responsibility and accountability. Because Kundalini wants you to grow into the highest expression of what you are.